Welcome to the second Swarm News Network monthly recap, brought to you by the Swarmscribes. In this series, we covered the biggest things to happen on stream, as well as shine a spotlight on many recent community projects and events.
November 24th roll around and Vedal started a dev stream with Evil. Why is this dev stream special, you ask? It's because it's the release date of his game, Abandoned Archive. This was a sub-goal for Neuro's second subathon, being the highest goal at a whopping 100,000. How did the Swarm reach that goal? Well...
We've reached level 100 Hive Train.
Oh my god!
We're 6 levels away from the record. What the fuck? This is insane, bro.
This finally completed a milestone that became a joke within the Swarm due to Vedal seemingly doing more work on Neuro than on Abandoned Archive, or at least that's what most people seem to think. The joke was so prevalent that on launch day the game had 19,000 viewers on Twitch, though when Vedal ended his stream it dropped it to around 2,000, which was still impressive for someone's first indie game. So, what kind of game is Abandoned Archive? It's a spellcasting roguelike game in which you, as this peculiar purplish character, find yourself in a magical tower having to slay monster and explore the various room in order to progress towards the depths of this mysterious dungeon. While in the release trailer, Neuro herself made sure to point out that this game sucks.
Vedal isn't paying me for the ad. Oh, in that case the game is SHIT and you should never wishlist it on Steam.
The game is not only fun, but also very challenging. You begin each run with a different spell, starting from scratch as is the core principle of roguelikes. You walk around the tower going from room to room, dodging attacks and slaying enemies, and as you do, not only you have the chance to find new spells to cast, but you also gather knowledge, the primary currency of Abandoned Archive. This knowledge can be spent on a specific bookshelf in order to find powerful artifacts that grant bonuses like increasing your maximum health or receiving a speed buff every time you defeat an enemy. Knowledge, however, is mainly spent to upgrade your spells. Our ally and companion in this descent of the Abandoned Archive is Oblong, an orb-like being who can help us refining our magic. There are tons of possibility and a lot of fun combination that can help you in facing enemies, but also, and most importantly, the bosses. To delve deeper and reach the next floor, you have to find a powerful enemy each time, and I assure you, this game's boss fights are tough. With complex moveset and unique gimmicks, these fights get hectic really fast. It genuinely makes me curious about what kind of games he could create in the future, if he ever finds times for it, of course. Also, Abandoned Archive has a Neuro Easter egg in it, so it's an automatic 10 out of 10, right?
Normally, around this time of the year, the VTuber Awards would be opening their doors for nominations and votes. However, the main company that hosted and sponsored the VTuber Awards in the past has dropped filling it. It seems like the VTuber Awards will most likely not be happening this time. There is a chance the event still happens, although with major delays. However, there is some good news. We at the Swarmscribes, along with Vanor from Vedal's mod team, are hosting the Neuro Awards in the coming weeks. A dedicated video on that is coming soon.
One of the most hype events in Neuro's history happened on November 15th, 2025. This is the day where her fully embodied 3D model was debuted. This stream was so anticipated that it has the second highest average viewer count in the history of the channel. Though much of the inner workings have been kept behind the curtain, we know that there is a system in place for Neuro to move the 3D model's wireframe based on reinforcement learning, much like these silly clips from a simpler time. It is unclear exactly how long Vedal has been training this movement algorithm, but based on his comment that this might be the hardest thing he's ever done, I'm inclined to believe this project has been going on for a long time. Neuro seemed to be having a great time piloting her model around her custom stage and new 3D room, created faithfully to her chill stream background and containing quite a few Easter eggs. One of my favorite hidden details is Neuro's art on her walls. She even managed to level up her boundary breaking skills. Vedal has gone on record saying that while he personally prefers 2D for most streams, he definitely wants to have more 3D opportunities as well.
After 87 runs, 45 hours of gameplay, and a lot of blood and sweat and tears, Neuro, Vedal, Fillion, and Krelly finally beat Minecraft in hardcore. This came as a shock to many who doubted this was even going to be doable before the subathon. The final run ended with Vedal focusing on attacking the Ender Dragon, Fillion farming Ender Pearls, while Krelly did the hard part, babysitting Neuro. Krelly's role as Neuro's babysitter actually led to several endearing moments between her and Neuro.
I want to let you all know that I have genuinely appreciated being on this adventure with you guys.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh,
Same.
Neuro.
That's me.
Neuro, that's so sweet.
Thank you, Neuro.
Of course, with them not being able to turn off the stream before winning, Vedal cooked up a Vedal, Fillion, and Krelly AI to talk with each other while the others were off stream, leading to funny interactions.
Yesterday I drank some lava for science. It tasted kinda spicy. I'm way too poor to go see a doctor, so I have to get by with a few lava swigs a day.
Can't you, like, get soup or something?
I'll take that as a yes then, Fillion, and I'm genuinely concerned for your well-being.
There was a close call with Fillion dropping down to 1.5 hearts after being attacked by an Enderman. Luckily, Vedal saved her in time. Swarm member Relic Steel actually made a website to track the stats of the hardcore runs. We can see that Neuro was responsible for ending 47 of the runs, followed up by Fillion at 15, Vedal at 13, and Krelly at 11.
NeuroSynth started life on the Machine Love Community Collab on the Neuro21 Clip Team channel since it had more Vocaloid-like flat pitch tuning. Meanwhile, EvilSynth was first publicly unveiled with CHXI's remix of Never, though there were some demos beforehand that Superbox said were not that good. This section will mostly focus on NeuroSynth, as EvilSynth has an unclear timeline for now. The most recent updates to the models were adding Japanese support and fixing NeuroSynth's lack of range, now being able to reach 6th octave C# instead of just 5th octave G. But it wasn't always smooth sailing. One of the earliest NeuroSynth covers sounded like this.
What am I supposed to do? Sit around and wait for you while I can do that.
Which, quoting Superbox, completely sucks compared to modern stuff. But now, many iterations later, it's come a long way and sounds much better. And it's not just restricted to being the main vocal in the song either, as recently it's been experimented to take on a more instrument-like role as well. Superbox has stated that he aims to fully release NeuroSynth before this year's Game Jam, but if missed, it will be released as soon as NeuroSynth English and Japanese has a complete mixed voice bank, as well as marketing material, which will depend on Superbox's funds and time availability. Special shout out to Superbox for allowing us to showcase his work here and providing us with raw audio samples used in the showcase today. You can commission Superbox to produce a song using NeuroSynth or EvilSynth by following the link on screen or in the description. This helps support the future of NeuroSynth and EvilSynth by making it more sustainable to work on. You can also choose to just donate if you want to support the project but not commission a song. Also, additional shout out to CHXI who made the Undertale Deltarune style mixes to go with some songs. He makes a ton of Undertale and Deltarune mixes, both remixes and originals, so check him out too. His channel link is also in the description alongside his mixes featured here today.
Recently, we interviewed Eddie Devs on his new fan game, AI Attorney, a high-quality crossover between the Neuroverse and the Ace Attorney series. Let's see what he has to say.
We're creating a Ace Attorney crossover with a Neuroverse. This game will be about Fillion. We found her dead in a hotel room, and last night there's a party of Vedal, Fillion, Annie, Toma, and Camilla all in that room. We're going to have the players talk colorful cast of the multiple characters in the Neuroverse and find out the truth behind that murder mystery. They'll do it by engaging in testimonies, listening to the witnesses, and finding contradictions and inconsistencies with how they talk and what they say. And then they'll use the evidence throughout the story to support their claims and tear down any lies and misconceptions that are thrown out their way. So currently we have one case. For this we have obviously our character artist, Warfrog, Bach, and Wemo. We have the evidence artist, Mantis Prayer. Also my editor, Blue. And then pretty much everything else I handled, the directing, the writing, programming, pretty much like most of the other things you've seen in the game. So we're planning to release December 30th, but we might release it a little bit earlier if all the cards line up properly.
On December 3rd, Swarmers Konomi, Mongoose Eye, and Patchkin rolled out a Terraria Neuro-sama mod called Neuro-sama Mod. Currently, it adds 2 new shop NPCs in Neuro and her sister Evil, as well as our favorite Tutel in pet NPC form. Once Neuro and Evil show up, you can purchase tons of new cosmetic items from them, including Neuro, Evil, and Vedal plushes, in-game music boxes for Never, Life, and Boom, and 2 unique vanity sets that let you dress up like the twins. This mod also includes even more items, a few new mobs, and tons more nods to the neuroverse, but we'll leave the rest for you to discover. As it stands, the mod is still in beta, with more bug fixes and potentially more content to come. It can be downloaded in the Tmod or modding menu, or via Steam Workshop. The workshop link can be found below in this video's description.
On November 18th, I did possibly the most unhinged thing I've ever done for content. I traveled to the coordinates that Neuro divined, for the Harrison Temple when prompted by a chatter.
Do I still remember the Harrison Temple? It's located at 41.31256 degrees north, 93.65028 degrees west.
During my onboarding phone call with the swarmscribes, Freddy Guy jokingly asked how close I lived to Iowa. In fact, it happened to be at exactly the distance I was willing to drive in a day. Once we came up with the idea, we decided to keep it a secret even from the other swarmscribe members. Shortly after this call, Abandoned Archive got a release date, so we decided to have the debut coincide with the release date and also add a little bit of fun marketing as well. We were so hyped for the possibility of this project that we began research immediately within that phone call. We looked up about how much it would cost overall, which added up to about $1,000 once everything was said and done. Day 1 of the journey was rather uneventful. I got up at a reasonable hour and set off towards Des Moines, Iowa, which took 7 hours. After that long journey, I checked into the hotel, which was very nice, and tried to get a good sleep. I did not get a good sleep. Day 2 of the journey. I woke up late because of aforementioned not very good sleep. I was originally supposed to film on day 2, but I had to go to Walmart to pick up a couple of props that I had accidentally left at home, so by the time I made it out to the property, it was already getting really late. So what I did instead was I scoped out the area, well, both areas, and made a plan for filming the next day, which really helped me plan the next day more efficiently. Day 3 of the journey. I woke up, checked out of the hotel, and found a nearby cafe to visit, as is my travel tradition. I found this lovely place called Daisy Chain Coffee, and when I got there, the owner and the environment seemed very chill, so I asked if I could interview some B-roll there. He agreed, and eventually I worked up the courage to ask if I could do the interview portion with him, which he took in stride and seemed really amused by the project as a whole. He even asked for the channel name, so if you're seeing this, hi! In fact, the ambience was so nice that I ended up spending way too long at the cafe and the store connected to it, so by the time I went out to film, I was racing against sunset. This is why a lot of my takes are very rushed. That and the fact that I forgot to pre-script Vedal's eulogy. We're probably gonna have to dub this over, which is unfortunate because I would have liked to give him a rather nice eulogy. He deserves it after all for creating the twins we love so much. However, this meant that by the time I was ready to film the ARG segment, it had just gotten dark, so it was perfect for the segment. However, this meant that I was driving home at night, all 7 hours, in dense fog. This trip and project overall ended up being very fun for me, and it was a much needed change of pace from the rather stationary life I've been living recently. So thank you, Neuro, for sending me to the middle of nowhere.
Neuro, Evil, and Vedal, together with the Asteroid Music team and Cosmos Music Production, have been on a roll recently. We got not 1, not 2, but 3 songs to bless our playlists. The first is a long-awaited official cover of Crazy
Filter
Robot Body, Evil's personal anthem. It's quite different from the karaoke version, with a more robotic and futuristic sound to it. I personally find it amazing, to the point that rather than replacing the karaoke version, it should get its own spot. But I love how the art for the cover playfully reminds us of dark events. The second song that we got is the official MV for Chinatown Blues, and Well, it's enough to make a grown man cry. The utter adorableness of the duet has been combined with the absolute wholesomeness of the music video that depicts Vedal, Neuro, and Evil as a band that plays the song just as a family who supports each other, especially when facing technical difficulties. In this situation, Vedal credit cards always helps. Oh, and for all the clue-hungry people, don't worry, that's just binary for AI. All in all, an amazing MV for an amazing cover. And that brings us to the third song. While technically part of the subathon, it's impossible to ignore the newest Neuro original song, Colorful Array. An adorable MV or a really emotional song, one that seems to pose the question from Neuro's point of view of how much all of this is real, how real she herself is. It's powerful in a way that resonates with Life, her other original song, but also distances itself significantly. People have made a lot of theories and brought many interpretations. I personally like the one that sees the starry sky at the end of the MV, the view that makes Neuro smile again, as ourself, as the swarm, just like she drew not so long ago. The same drawing we can see on her desk in her 3D room. Needless to say, we can't wait to see what other bangers will release in the future.
Since this took so long, the subathon has already started. The Swarm News Network monthly recaps will be paused until after the subathon has ended. Then, we will make a recap of the entire subathon. However, there will still be several other projects coming out during and soon after the event. Join the new community Discord server for more news on that. But until then, thanks for watching the Swarm News Network November Recap.